The following story was shared on Reddit. In July 2025, a group of 7 friends went camping at Brook State Park, New Hampshire. It was the last night, around 12:15 in the morning. 4 friends, Joe, Danny, Mitch, and Nate, were at the bathroom across the road, brushing their teeth. It was a short 30-second walk from their tents. The friends were perhaps fooling around, and Danny playfully yelled at Nate for unplugging his phone. Nothing too loud, just some joking. Suddenly, a man walked in. He looked to be in his mid-30s or 40s. Mitch moved aside, saying, "Oops, sorry." The man said nothing. He used a urinal, flushed, washed his hands, and walked out without a word. The friends did not think much of it, except the man looked incredibly dead inside. They said he had a 1,000-yard stare, which was creepy, but not entirely out of place for such a late hour. The bathroom had high windows, too high to see through, but open enough to hear things outside. Moments after the man left, the friends heard footsteps pacing on the gravel just outside. They stopped dead and listened, totally freaked out. To return to a campsite, there was no reason to be on the side of the building. Then, the same man returned. He went back to the same urinal, pretending to use it, but doing nothing. At this, the friends were super creeped out. They quickly decided to leave and go back to their campsite. As they walked out, they thought they heard something behind them. They hurried back to the campsite, meeting Mac and his dad, Ben. They quickly told them what had happened. That's when they all turned and shined their flashlights. Nate suddenly whispered, "Look, there he is, behind that tree." To their absolute horror, they saw the same man. Half of his body was still sticking out from behind the tree, illuminated by their lights. When he noticed the lights, he seemed to try and play it off, like he was just walking away. But when he realized he was spotted, he stopped. Then he said, "Put the light down, little boy, and go to bed." Ben, Mac's dad, immediately replied, "Stop following my boys." The man then said, "I was going for a walk when I heard them hooting and hollering in the bathroom, being super loud this late at night." Ben called out what he believed was a lie. "Yeah, right, totally," he said. The man then turned and left, walking off completely into the dark without a flashlight. The narrator had been half asleep in a tent. They only heard the conversation once flashlights were on the man. But one thing the narrator experienced was a strange intuition. They felt like the man had not continued on the road, but had veered off, cutting across the open field next to their campsite. This field did not lead to other campsites. It only led to a pond. It was like that feeling you get when you can physically feel someone looking at you. From the tent mattress, they could feel someone had passed by behind them, cutting through that open field instead of continuing on the road. They were definitely spooked and called the park ranger, but nobody picked up. Then they called the police, who took a while to arrive. An officer finally got there, and they told him what happened. He said this kind of thing wasn't as uncommon as they might expect. He suggested that sometimes homeless people come by, get into people's sites, and take supplies. The police searched but found nothing. The group ended up packing up and leaving that very night. The next day, they called the campground office and reported everything, giving a full description. The office let them know no camper matched that description. To this day, the friends have no idea who this guy was, why he was following them, or what his intentions were. It remains a deeply unsettling mystery.